Hi, I'm Shannon, and welcome to my channel. We are talking about some of the best of the best of 2024. Now, these are not necessarily new releases, but these are ones that stood out for me in different categories, and I'm very excited to share these with you. First up, I want to share kind of a hidden gem. I feel like this brand is not spoken about a lot, and this is Fueguilla, and this is La Cautiva. Now, this perfume is the essence of blackcurrant. So blackcurrant is very common. It's a very prominent note in a lot of perfumes. It's a lovely, lovely scent profile. But this perfume is like if you distill down truly like the essence of what blackcurrant like should smell like. This is so simple. It's musk, it's vanilla, and it's blackcurrant. And I've tried a lot of different perfumes and I love the note. But this is to me the most kind of simple and distilled version of that. And I think it's exceptional. I think it's so exceptional. It's like pure. It's kind of like if you think about a vanilla perfume and you're telling people this smells like vanilla extract. That's the only way I know how to compare it, is that this really smells like a black currant. It smells like a juicy black currant. And the crazy thing about this perfume is that it lasts, it projects. For being that kind of fruity profile, I'm very impressed with the performance on that. Now, again, that was La Cautiva by Fueguilla. Next up, I have my favorite release of the year, and this is by the House of Initio, and this is Narcotic Delight. Now, Narcotic Delight, if you're not familiar, is a boozy cherry tobacco perfume. And one of the things I really appreciate about Initio, number one, is that they don't really release that many perfumes. So when they do, I feel like it's going to attract attention. I think people are going to be curious, but Narcotic Delight takes out any of those. I'm just like, I need a moment to just smell that because it's so good. Now, Narcotic Delight takes out any of those harsh edges. Like when I like a gritty tobacco, don't get me wrong, I do enjoy that, but Narcotic Delight is this sweet vanillic tobacco that is it's so perfectly blended, and it's just like it's cozy, but it's also sexy. It's date night. It's different. It's got some spices at the top, so it's got a little bit of like pepper and kick to it. It's got that booziness. It's a very unique scent. I have a lot of cherry tobacco. I love boozy scent profiles, and I don't have anything that smells like this. I think it's a phenomenal release this year, and I'm so happy to have it. I'm very curious to see what Initio does in 2025. Next up, I want to share a perfume that is very special to me because it's one of the first niche perfumes that I added into my collection. And I remember I went into Bloomingdale's and I didn't know anything really at the time. And the woman at the counter said that Parfums de Marly had a new release, and that was Althair. I'm kind of sneaking this into a 2024 release, even though it was released at the end of 2023. This perfume, I think of it as an aromatic vanilla, and this is in their men's line, but I find it to be such an addictive vanilla. I have worn that so much in the last year or so, and I really can't foresee, like, I don't foresee getting sick of that. That will be a staple in my collection. I think it's phenomenal. And if I, look at the notes, I mean, there's cinnamon, there's cardamom, there's some brightness, there's some bergamot in here, but really, I just get this intriguing vanilla. I think there's complexity in here. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Parfums de Marly is that performance is not an issue. Like, thank you for that. Thank you so much. I love a strong scent. I like a scent that I put on. I can smell myself. Like, I could put that on in the morning, and in the evening, it's like, yeah, I'm still good to go. So I really, really enjoy this. And again, this is Parfums de Marly, and this is Althair. So if I think of Althair as being kind of a wearable, kind of easy reach perfume, another new release, which I'm totally cheating here, but you guys don't mind, is Sirene, and this is by Fragrance Du Bois. This is a very captivating scent. It's very like bold and sexy and spicy all at the same time. This is definitely not an everyday perfume. This to me is it's a date night perfume. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's like the perfume. It's like there's an eye roll. It's like my eyes roll back into the back of my head because it's seductive. I mean, it's really interesting because there's oud in here, and one of the things I love about Fragrance Du Bois is that they, number one, beautifully blended fragrances, absolutely easy to wear, even for having oud, which can come off a little bit kind of animalic. It's actually kind of funny because I have two cherry perfumes that I was highlighting for new releases, and they're both exceptional. They're both very different. Sirene is definitely a standout, and I would highly recommend checking it out. So I was debating on including this category, but I thought it would be fun. So my favorite dupe of the year is none other than, it's hard to say, so I'm looking at this. This is Junoon Oud, and this is by Althair. Now, the bottle on this is kind of a monstrosity to me, as are like many of the Middle Eastern perfumes. Now, this is a dupe for Vibrato from Sospiro, and Vibrato is the freshie of my dreams. It is potent, it's projecting, it's like citrus and fresh, but still like powdery in a way, and very, very musky. I know a lot of people kind of think that this pulls masculine, but I find it to be super addictive. Now, there is grapefruit in here. I know that's used in a lot of colognes. So I think that's maybe where that might be where people are sort of getting that masculine quality, but there's a hefty amount of ginger in here. Now, the reason this is such a good dupe is because I have worn this many, many times right next to Vibrato. I've tested out the performance. Performances stand out, and the scent, I could not tell the difference. I mean, the scent is like 98% what I get from Vibrato. Now, I don't actually own Vibrato because I have this. Now, if I run out, I'll probably go ahead and buy the, the actual Vibrato. I probably wouldn't go back for the dupe, but in the meantime, I'm really enjoying it, and I can just, be heavy-handed if I want to, and I don't have any problems with it. So again, that was Junoon Oud by Althair. One of the scents I want to share, my favorite perfume for professional setting, and this is Gris Dior, and this is by Christian Dior. Now, Gris Dior is like, it's a chypre, so it's got this earthy quality, but it's essentially like if there was fresh rain and then there's kind of this like dirt and this earthiness, which doesn't sound amazing, but just trust me on this one if you haven't tried it. It also has kind of this interesting, I would say, cross section between classic perfumery, because it's got rose and it's got a little bit of like maturity in there. So I feel very much like a grown-up, mature boss woman when I wear this, and I've just really enjoyed it for that purpose. So that was Gris Dior, and that's by Christian Dior. So I have a perfume that is essentially a little bit floral, a little bit fruity, and very musky. So this category is going to be my easy reach. It's going to also be one of my most worn fragrances, and that's Mojave Ghost by Byredo. And if you haven't smelled this, Mojave Ghost is such an, it's like I said, it's a very easy reach. It's such a likable scent profile. So anytime a lot of times when I'm leaving the house and it's sort of like borderline, maybe I'm going to a doctor's appointment, maybe I'm like in close proximity to people and I want to wear perfume, but I don't want to be offensive, I will put on Mojave Ghost. And honestly, it smells, it's got some pear, it has the pear smell, even though I don't think that's a note in here, but it has this sort of pear smell. And so it feels like I just feel refreshed. I feel like I took a shower and I'm just like ready to go. And it's very inoffensive. I think it's super likable. I know they came out with the Absolute version. I had a sample of that, and in terms of like scent profile, I couldn't really tell a difference. So maybe if I, burn through this, I'll pick up the Absolute. But overall, it's just a very likable, musky scent, and I find it to be very addictive. And that's why it's one of my most worn fragrances, and that was Mojave Ghost by Byredo. So I kind of wanted to share my favorite and my best for last. And this next perfume is my personality. It's my favorite scent profile. It's probably one of my most treasured perfumes in my collection. And I picked this up when it was really hard to get. I think I got it on a discounter, not a discounter site. I think I got it on like a eBay or something, and I paid like double what it was supposed to cost. I mean, just really dumb, right? But I'm talking about Babycat by YSL, and thank goodness you can actually find. I found this like discounted on like Max Aroma or Joma Shop, and I was like, I hate myself right now because I paid way too much for this. But essentially, Babycat is a smooth vanilla suede. It's smooth vanilla suede. It's got I want to say it has incense, but it actually just has like peppery notes, but I get that sort of like I get the quality of incense in the sense that there's so much depth to this perfume, and I think that would smell amazing on a man. I think some of the sweeter scents actually smell very good on men, and I don't know if it's like body chemistry or whatnot, but this is such a treasure to me. I think that first of all, the bottle design, I love how sleek it is. It kind of reminds me of like a Celine bottle, but just incredibly sleek, incredibly sophisticated perfume, and that's really how I feel when I'm wearing it too. And I love these perfumes that make me feel sophisticated but also like cozy at the same time. I mean, I will wear Babycat just lounging around the house because that's, I love it. I think it's amazing. Babycat will always be very special to me. It will always be top tier in my collection. And so that's why I wanted to highlight that today, and that was by YSL. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my short list of favorites from 2024 and perfumes that are very special to me and that I want to highlight. I would love to hear. Tell me your discoveries from the year. Tell me what your favorites were. I would love to know, and I'm always out to explore new perfumes, so feel free to share that in the comments, and I hope to see you back soon for another video. And if you like the content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon.